now to Memphis. It is the latest city expected to see National Guard troops deployed as part of President Trump's crackdown on crime. Now, according to the FBI, Memphis had the nation's highest crime rate last year, but city data shows that crime has dropped by 44% so far this year. This is on the heels of the president deploying the National Guard to our nation's capital. Our Christian Cordero is tracking this story from Washington for us. And Christian, what more do we know about the president's plan and what's been the reaction from local leaders?
Sure. So, Gio, as far as the plan itself goes, we know that the president plans to deploy the National Guard to Memphis specifically. And we have seen this whether he has deployed the troops or threatened to deploy troops to other cities. And in some cities, right, claiming that violent crime, falsely claiming anyways, that it has had a higher trend or a surge in violent crime. You noted very aptly that Memphis had the highest violent crime rate last year among major cities nationwide. But the mayor does tout that there has been an overall reduction in crime compared to previous years. And so as far as the reaction goes, the mayor says, look, this is really not something that he wants to see. He doesn't believe National Guard troops are going to help bring crime levels down. What he says that he did support are things like a surge in FBI agents, DEA, ATF, those sorts of things. But it ultimately isn't up to the mayor. He has acknowledged that. And what makes this situation unique, Gio, is that the Tennessee Republican governor does support the president's plan and will cooperate with it.
So, Christian, Memphis is kind of unique because we're talking about a Democrat-led city in a Republican state. So how might the president's approach differ compared to cities like, L.A. or Chicago?
Yeah, drastically, in that he has more power, President Trump, because he will have, presumably, the cooperation of Tennessee's governor. The governor has said that he will cooperate and leverage the full use of federal and state powers. And so really what that kind of comes down to is, remember, we heard President Trump say we're going to deploy the National Guard to Chicago, for example. And both Chicago's Democratic mayor and Illinois' Democratic governor said we do not support that. And most notably the governor, because without the governor's support, then the National Guard is really just limited to protecting things like federal buildings. But because the Tennessee governor plans to support the president's plan, they can carry out regular law enforcement duties.
All right, Christian Cordero following this story for us. Christian, thank you so much.